Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you today? I hope you are doing very, very well. It is a lovely Saturday here in Northern California. I just went and picked up Dan's last Christmas present and wrapped it. So we are ready to do Christmas in my house. We're going to do it before we actually fly so we don't have to take any gifts with us. We fly on Wednesday to Portland, Oregon. On Thursday, I will be spending a lot of money at Powell's Bookstore. I have been creating a list on my phone of books that I want to pick up. I actually have not been book shopping probably in 3 weeks, which for me is crazy talk. Someone had recommended that I try to do a Powell's meetup and while I was there, but I'm going to be at Powell's on Thursday, like in the middle of the workday. So it's like the worst time to ask for people to try to meet me at a bookstore. But I will definitely see, put up pictures of everything that I buy. And, you know, I just love that bookstore. So what am I coming to do to you today? I am coming to do the 112 page book tag. Now, this tag was created by Shawn the Book Maniac. Now, I will link his channel below because Shawn has actually done a couple of these videos, so I will link his entire channel. If you don't subscribe to Shawn, you really should. He cracks me up. He's very funny. I think he lives in Tokyo. I'm pretty sure he lives in Tokyo. And he's just got such a variety of books that he talks about. And he really will make you laugh. He's a very sassy gentleman. So I will link Shawn's channel below. But I'm actually going to be doing the Simon Savage version of this tag, and I will link Simon's video down below too, because I am going to use this as a way for me to figure out which book to take with me, one of the books I will take with me on my trip. And the way that this tag works is I've chosen 4 books. I'm going to tell you briefly what they're about, and then I am going to read page 112 to you. I'm just going to do them in alphabetical order by author and then go from there, and you guys will get to hear me read a little bit, so hopefully that doesn't drive you crazy. And then we'll go from there, okay? So the first book is How I Became a North Korean by Krys Lee. This is the story of 3 youths, 2 from North Korea and 1 from the United States. One is sort of a rich, well-educated North Korean. One is one who runs, sort of smuggles across the border. And then the American comes to China, and they all meet in a small town in China. And it's sort of how it's sort of how their stories all come together. Trying really hard to be vague because I don't know a whole lot about it, but I also don't want to know about it because I'm really interested on how that's going to intersect. So page 112 is the start of a chapter, and it's chapter 10, and it's Young Jew, and it says, "This was my China. A mountain dugout opened into a cave several meters deep. The drip of water during rain, the scratching music of the trees outside, a bed of stones and paper to keep the cave dry. Blankets, clothes from the city dump, and donation bins we would break into, anything to create heat in the chilly underground. A small cry, a young, pebbly voice floating alone in the dark, then silence. Each morning I woke up in the hollow full of orphans who had crossed out of hunger, to the music of misery and their arrhythmic breathing, the grinding of their rotten teeth. The morning cold burrowed into my bones and made its home there, and my hands and knees became slippery on the cool earth, and my eyelashes thick with the loose soil that trickled down. It was so dark that the word dark was inadequate. So dark it was as if I was dead. The cave was full of haunted life and the stink of urine, and the only relief was to close my eyes and pretend that the darkness wasn't there." That was so good. That is How I Became a North Korean by Krys Lee, and wow, whew, that was some heavy-duty writing. Oh, the next book I'm going to read from is History of Bees from Maja Lunde. Now, this was one of my Page Habit Box books, and this is actually told in 3 parts. 1852's England, 2007 United States, and 2098 China. And I'm just going to read you sort of the blurb at the top, because it's going to be a convoluted, obviously, with those 3 different time periods. But it says, in the spirit of Station 11 and Never Let Me Go, a dazzling and ambitious literary debut about the fate of our planet and the world-changing potential of each family. Whew, sounds heavy, guys. And let me get to page 112 for us. And it looks like a lot of the books that I picked are broken out by character. And this is the start of another chapter. This is William. I was on my way out of the blindness, was eating well, and had slowly but surely started to exercise. I bathed every day, asked for fresh laundry cloths often, and shaved frequently, up to twice a day. After all these months spent like a bearded chimpanzee, I had come to like the smoothness of my face, feeling the air directly against my skin. And I read until my eyes smarted. I could stand more all the time, increasingly more words a day, spent entire days at my desk, surrounded by all my books, opened on the table, on the bed, and on the floor. I reread Schwammerdam. His research remained solid. I studied Hubert's hive in detail, his practical framework, and also ordered what I came across in the way of pamphlets and journals on the practice of beekeeping. There were many of them, it turned out. From the upper-class beekeeping had become a leisurely pastime in recent years, something with which one filled the long hours between lunch and tea. But most of these small manuals were naturally written for the common man, and a simple language with simple line drawings. For someone like me, it didn't take long to get through them. Some described experiments with hives made of wood. Some even held that they had discovered what would have to be a new standard. But none of them had so far managed to come up with a hive that truly gave the keeper complete access and oversight. Not like the hive I knew I would create. Dorothea visited me daily now. She showed up with the apple-red cheeks and small dishes she had prepared for herself. It had to be Philda who asked her to do so, in the hopes that I would eat more when I knew that my child had prepared the food with her own hands. Okay, guys, 2 books in, and I want to take both of them on my trip already. I'm trying to go fast. I don't want this video to be too long. Gosh, both of those sound so good. The next one is Salt House by Hala, Alyan. And this is the story of... So this main character, her name is Alya. Her daughter is going to get married, and they go to read the future in coffee dregs. And it is about how that future in those coffee grinds predicts a very tough life for her daughter. And she doesn't tell her daughter, but the family is uprooted because of the 6 Days War in 1967. I want to say that this takes place in Kuwait City. Or they moved to Kuwait City. But this has to do with this family and their, migration's not the right word, as they try to flee the country they are living in and the war and rebuild their lives. I believe they come to many countries. They come to Boston, Paris, Beirut, and beyond. It's about all of their families. Yeah, I remember this was talked to me about at Booktopia by one of the booksellers there in Vermont. And yeah, I think it sounds fantastic. And let's go to 112. This is not the beginning of the chapter. So it says, he pops peppermint candies in his mouth, and they clank against his teeth as he drinks tea. His habit of retiring to his study after dinner sometimes, the door only slightly ajar, so that Riham has to flatten herself against the wall to see the familiar silhouette of him, bent over his desk, writing. She loves the sounds of the pen scratching against the paper, the way he always looks so solemn in these moments, unaware of her watching. She misses him terribly, even more than she does Kareem. Misses talking to him about books, the way he quizzes her on characters and plot lines. And Anna Karenina, he would say while cracking a pumpkin seed, her favorite, though she only sucks the shells until the salt is gone. Do you think she made the right choice? If he were her father would understand why Riham wished to stay home, why he preferred to be alone. Why she preferred to be alone rather than trailing Mira and Lara, as though she is some leper, some babysitting charge, and why she hates her polka-dot bathing suit, the one her mother bought when they first arrived. It is the exact same one as Lara's, and the contrast is depressing, how it clings perfectly to Lara's thin frame, bulges and strains on Reham. She always wears a shirt over it. So far, she hasn't entered the water once. Even on the hottest days, she remains in the shade with her book. When anyone asks, she says she has a stomachache. Wow. Okay, so 2 sections, 2 things about book. I kind of cut a little short there because it was starting a whole new section, but I thought that sounded phenomenal. Again, The Salt House by Hala, Alyan. This is a family epic leaving Kuwait City and fleeing to different countries because of a war. And that cover is just gorgeous. Okay, so the last book that I'm going to tell you about and read page 112 of is The Witchfinder Sister by Beth Underdown. And this is the story. It's set in 1645 Essex, England. And it is about a woman who is widowed and she returns pregnant to live with her son because her husband has passed, her brother because her husband has passed away. Goodness, that was convoluted, Russell. And her brother is a witch hunter. And I'm not going to say much about it because he sort of reigns over this town with sort of a steel-gripped hand. People are frightened to say or do anything. And let's see what 112... Oh, page 112 is very, very short. Rebecca West had taken the unfinished child and eaten it. She was known to be ogling Thomas Hart, and so for certain she must wish Prudence away. The rumors spread, and Rebecca was taken off to Colchester Gallow, and I had racked myself over whether I did not feel a small amount of triumph when I heard of it, whether I did not feel that she had got what was in some way coming to her. You guys, am I taking all 4 books? That's The Witchfinder Sister by Beth Undertow. Oh my God, they all sound so amazing. So thank you to Shawn the Book Maniac for creating this tag. I don't know, which one should I take? They all sound so good. I think I'm going to take this one, How I Became a North Korean, because I think that that page painted such a vivid picture in my head. I want to know what that character Hung Ju is going through. Yeah, so that's really cool. I've heard, so Krys Lee translates books from Korean to English, and I've heard she's a phenomenal writer on her own, so I'm super excited about that. So, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your weekend. As always, if you are a return subscriber, thank you so much. Talk to me in the comments below. Have you read any of the books? Do any of them sound interesting to you? If you are new to my channel, welcome. Thank you. I hope you like this video and this tag. Until next time. Oh, who should I tag? I'm not sure who I'm going to tag. If you think that this would sort of inspire you to pick a new book, please do this tag and let me know. Until next time, happy reading. I will talk to you later. Bye.